Welcome, everyone, to the Best of Markham podcast brought to you by me, Igor Klibanov from FitnessSolutionsPlus.ca, your personal trainers for chronic conditions. Here with me today is Rebecca Liang, who is a registered dietitian. Rebecca, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Thanks so much for having me, Igor. This is such an exciting opportunity. Like Igor had introduced, my name is Rebecca. I'm a registered dietitian. I've been a dietitian for about 4 years now. Um, and yeah, it's a pretty exciting career. I love what I do. Uh, yeah, not much else to say about that.
And how'd you get into dietetics?
I knew from the start when I was quite young that, of course, I loved food like many other people, but I also had a deep interest in sciences, in health, and also the human anatomy. In high school, when we were picking out our careers, I thought, what better way to sort of marry the two subjects, food and science, and become a dietitian?
Well, so you knew pretty early on.
Yeah, I think so.
And you actually follow through with it because lots of people who think they're going to do something in high school, they change their mind a million times. Like that was me. In grade 12, I had no clue what I was going to do. I mean, I had the preference, but I thought, oh, I could also do this, I could also do that. But you knew from high school even before that, and you just went straight through, and here we are now.
A little, sort of. So I actually landed on being a dietitian as sort of my final choice. I, of course, as I was a child, kind of cycled through so many different ideas and wants to be like different professionals and go down different career paths. But I think in high school, like that, the idea of becoming a dietitian really solidified, and I was like, yes, I think this is what I'm going to land on. This is what I'm going to follow through with, and I'm happy everything worked out.
That's awesome. That's amazing. What do you like most about being a dietitian?
That's a tough one. There's so many great parts of being a dietitian. I think my favorite part of my job, which I do tell my clients and my patients, is that I get to talk about food all day long. That is my whole job. You can think of me as somebody who loved food so much that I decided to study it. I decided to work with it. And so that is my passion. That is my favorite thing. And just to be able to educate and counsel people on what food can really do for you and how it can improve your quality of life. So being able to be that person to disseminate that type of information and to also do a fair bit of like motivational interviewing and sort of get to know people and find out what makes them motivated, what makes them want to improve their life. um, just being part of that is such a special experience.
Oh yeah. Now I have to ask this from a dietitian. What's your favorite food?
Oh boy. Uh, First, I have lots of favorites, but I think the top one that I will never ever get tired of is sushi.
Oh yeah. Is there a
Yeah.
specific kind of sushi you like?
I love anything with salmon. So salmon sashimi. I know that at different like Japanese restaurants or sushi restaurants, you can get like a salmon lovers combo, and that's like always my first pick.
Okay, very nice. I just went
Yeah.
to a sushi place for Father's Day on Sunday.
Oh,
Every
excellent.
place I go to, I get what I call the white guy roll. That is
What's the
Philadelphia.
white guy roll?
Philadelphia.
Sorry? The
Cream cheese.
Philadelphia roll. Okay, well, you know what? That has salmon in it, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was my favorite in any sushi restaurant. So I'm happy they
right
accommodate.
on.
Now,
Right on.
I have to ask, what's a dietitian's favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, I'm glad you asked that question. Um, this might differ from clinician to clinician, dietitian to dietitian, but I don't believe in what like a cheat meal.
Fair enough.
I just believe in whatever food you want to enjoy that you enjoy mindfully. But my favorite, if you're asking me about like what my comfort foods are,
Yeah.
maybe some of those more like decadent meals, I would have to say fried chicken.
Oh,
I love fried chicken so much, whether it be like American, Korean, Filipino, Japanese, like I love it all.
do you have a favorite fried chicken restaurant?
Yes, currently it's a battle between Jollibee's and BBQ chicken.
Oh, right up there. My wife is
Yeah,
Filipina, so Jollibee is always number one.
awesome.
But lately we've been getting into Korean fried chicken. You know,
hmm
like Buy My Chicken or Chicken in the Kitchen.
Oh, I've been to both. They're excellent. If you have not had BBQ chicken before, they're a Korean fried chicken place. Will blow your mind.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how they do it, but it's out of this world.
I know, I know.
All right, back to business. Are you responsible for getting your own clients, or do you get referrals from the places you work at?
Currently, I don't have my own private practice, so the only source of patients and referrals that I have are from my workplace.
Okay, okay, fair enough. And what are you working on right now that's exciting to you?
Um, you caught me at a very interesting time. I don't have anything currently that I'm working on, but I did just complete the exam to become a CDE or Certified Diabetes Educator.
Okay,
I wrote that exam, I think 2 or 3 weeks back, so still waiting on the results. So
no doubt.
fingers crossed. But my next sort of project that I am kind of ramping up for is to write the CNSC exam for clinical nutrition, the clinical nutrition support clinician exam.
Okay,
And that's in 2026. So probably start prepping around October or so.
lots of stuff to do. What made you decide
Mhm.
to become, hopefully, a certified diabetes educator?
Um, it is something that we do in my current workplace, which is work with uh, pediatric diabetes. So
Hmm,
having that certification would no doubt make me much more knowledgeable, a much more competent clinician to kind of help those kids and families.
gotcha. When you say pediatric
Mhm.
diabetes, is that primarily type 1, or does that include type 2 as well?
Type 1, type 2, pre-diabetes, sort of everything under the sun.
Gotcha. Okay. And so your
Mhm.
specialty is pediatrics?
Currently, yeah, I would say community and pediatrics for sure.
Okay. And why did you choose pediatrics specifically?
You know, it's funny. When I was going through my training and my schooling, I had actually had this like silent little oath to myself to like never work with children. I never had an interest in working with kids or families or babies. But then I kind of stumbled across this job opportunity, decided to interview for it, um, ended up being the successful candidate. And ever since starting in the pediatric world, I don't think I ever want to leave it. I think adults are gross. I'd rather work with children for sure.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that you didn't want to work with pediatrics at first and now you love it. It's like
I
me
know.
when I was starting personal training like 19 years ago, I was an athlete myself, so I wanted to work with athletes. Um, And so at first I did work with athletes, but then my workplaces, which was the a country club and one community center, there were no athletes there. I mean, not serious athletes, like
Mm,
recreational golf, recreational tennis, but nothing serious. So I ended up working with middle-aged and older adults.
mm,
This is actually a lot of fun. I actually like this a lot better than
hey.
athletes, and to me it was a lot more meaningful because I was working with a lot of chronic conditions,
Hmm.
diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, etc. And I found I was having a very like a tangible impact on their lives, both the quality but also the quantity.
Totally.
And I found that to be a lot more meaningful than working with recreational athletes. Sure, they can run a little faster, but that doesn't change their life. It's not like they're getting a pro contract, they're not getting a scholarship because they can run faster, because they're already middle-aged and elderly. Um, but
Yeah,
but improving quality and quantity of life, that to me is meaningful.
I absolutely agree with you. I think I share the same sentiment when it comes to working with children because I think because they're so young and some of them even as young as like, you know, kind of preschool age, they haven't really been introduced to the ideas of like nutrition and healthy eating, what that looks like. As you get into like the grade school kids and the teens, of course, they'll have more exposure like from healthy eating classes in school. But then once you get into the kind of the teens, they get more exposure from like social media. Of course,
Mm,
nutrition has been so uh, this is an understatement, but widely discussed amongst pretty much everybody. And there's a lot of false and potentially harmful information out there. And so being that person to be able to step in a child's like sort of early stages of life and being able to deliver like those uh, uh, credible pieces of information, you know, backed by evidence, backed by science, it's very meaningful. Like you said, you can really see that improvement in their quality of life.
100%. Yeah, if you keep the earlier you can get in there, the better their life is going to be for decades after.
1000%.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Awesome. What obstacles have you encountered in your time as a dietitian?
Mm. The one obstacle that I've encountered and still continue to encounter. And I'm sure if anybody out there is a dietitian listening to this right now, I'm sure that you can maybe share some of the sentiment. But dietitians are typically looked at as sort of the food police. This is something that we were warned about right at the beginning of schooling, and we were trained sort of how to move away from that, how to dispel that. And for good reason, right? Like, I'm not saying that all dietitians are absolutely like perfect and share the same messaging. We all have our different philosophies of practice, which we can all respect. But whenever I share with somebody that I am a dietitian, then immediately the conversation and the tone kind of changes to like, oh, I'm just being bad today, or oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to get back on track tomorrow. When really it's like, I don't care. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Food is such a personal, such a sensitive topic, and whatever you decide to put into your body is up to you. That's not for me to judge. That's not for me to grade you on. This is just my profession that I was trained in. I work in a very specific population. Yes, I have the knowledge and tools to kind of promote healthy, balanced eating, to pursue like a healthy lifestyle, but that's not something that I'm constantly judging people or passing judgment on. And I can pretty confidently say that for a lot of the dietitians that I know.
Yeah, yeah. I've interviewed actually a few dietitians. I think three so far on this podcast,
Cool.
and they're very like-minded in the sense that it's your life. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. Do whatever you want.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not a dietitian, but I'm a personal trainer. But I find the same thing, and I tell people I'm a personal trainer. They're like, "Oh, I'm low carb or I'm keto." I'm like, "Great, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Fine.
You can do whatever you like."
Yeah.
Or they're like, "I cheated today." I'm like, "All right, whatever. I don't care." And
Yeah. Look,
like
as
you,
long as,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like you, I don't really believe in cheat meals. I just use that term because people understand what that means.
Of course. Yes.
I tell people at the end of the day, as far as fat loss is concerned, the only two things that matter are calories and protein.
Hmm.
You can have a pizza as long as it's within your caloric budget.
Hmm.
For protein, that's just fat loss. I mean, general health, there's other factors, omega 3s, five,
Absolutely.
but just fat loss. Those are the only two things that matter. So there's no
Hmm.
cheat meals as long as you like make up for it for later on in the day, the next day, throughout the week. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying that people are like, oh, I was bad today. I had a cheat meal or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I, it's fine, right? Like as long as you are having balance, and that if this food brings you a lot of joy, you're enjoying this amongst like a different variety of other foods, then go for it, right? Food is
Yeah.
there for our enjoyment as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now you're well certified, but in the little free time you have, what do you do?
Well, I like to crochet. I'm a big fan of crocheting. What else do I do? I like to explore nature. So, I recently only newly moved to Markham. I was from North York. And so now that I'm in Markham, I'm sort of exploring the different trails, and the
Yeah.
different like pockets of nature that our city has to offer. And then something new that I've really gotten into is bird watching.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I'm actually going bird watching with my friend tonight, so that'll
Oh,
be fun.
beautiful. Today is a great day for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually made the opposite move from you. I used to be in Markham and then moved to North York, but
Oh,
my
hey!
my gym is actually in Markham, hence the podcast. Uh,
Oh, oh, I
yeah,
see.
but I love living in Markham. My wife and I are actually looking for a house in Markham in the next 2 to 4 years or so.
It is absolutely wonderful here. Like, I lived in the part of North York that was actually very close to Markham, so I wasn't a stranger to the area. But now, actually living in Markham and exploring Markham a little bit more deeply, it's wonderful, and I don't plan on leaving for for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I even though I left Markham, I live across the street from North York General Hospital right now.
Oh,
Uh,
cool! I was an intern there.
yeah, yeah. I think I spend more time in Markham than I do in North York. I mean, North York is where I sleep, but that's my home. But
True.
Markham is kind of like where I grew up, etc. Where I spent a lot
Mhm.
of time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and since this is, after all, a Best of Markham podcast, what's your favorite business in Markham?
Well, like I said, because I'm newly moved, I haven't had um, too much experience with like the different types of businesses here, but I can confidently say There is a nail technician, a nail artist
Yeah,
that I'm a huge fan of. I used to go to her to get my nails done. I don't anymore because of it does interfere with my work sometimes, unfortunately. But if I had to go get my nails done again, it's going to be her. Her business is called Alicia Nailed It. You can find
yeah,
her on Instagram.
right.
She does very intricate, very beautiful artwork. And she's overall just such a funny, such a great, personable girl. So if anyone's looking to get their nails done, Alicia's your girl.
Awesome. Shout out to Alicia. I am sh
Yeah,
I am sure if there was a Jollibee in Markham, that might have been one of the top few.
1000%, 1000%.
We need to bring Jollibee to Markham.
We do. Think start that hashtag.
If anybody from Jollibee head office is listening to this podcast, please bring it to Markham. You have a pretty good market there.
Please reach out. Yes.
Yes, yes. Awesome. And lastly, do you take on private clients or do you just everything is through your work?
Currently, I'm not taking on private practice clients. That's something that I do have a vision for in the future, but currently, I'm only taking clients and patients through my workplace.
Understood. Fantastic. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate this.
Thank you for this opportunity, Igor. It was lovely being here.
Sure thing.